Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to talk about the economy of the North pre-1860. I've made a similar video about the South's economy, and I give a link to that video below in the description. I recommend you all to have a look at that video as well. By viewing both videos, you can then compare the differences between the two regional economies. The two items of huge difference between the North and Southern economy was the North was much more industrialized than the South and was not reliant on African American slave labor. Keep watching the rest of this video and we will drill into it a bit more deeply. So here we go. 20 facts about the economy of the North pre-1860 you probably did not know. Number 1. The 19th century was the era of rail and steam, the centerpiece of the Industrial Revolution. This era of industrialization was centered in the northern states. Number 2. The North possessed most of the US's manufacturing capacity. This included 97% of firearms production. Number 3. The North had 110,000 manufacturing businesses. This helped give the North an industrial edge over the South. Number 4. 1.3 million industrial workers worked in northern enterprises. By comparison, the future Confederacy had 18,000 factories employing 110,000 people. Number 5. The North had twice the density of railroads per square mile, making transportation of goods and people in the North much easier. Number 6. In 1860, the North produced 451 of the 470 locomotives that were manufactured that year. The future Confederate States manufactured only 19 of that year's number of locomotives. This example of locomotive manufacture highlights the much greater industrial strength of the North. Number 7. The North had a population of 20.7 million people, while the future Confederate States had a population of 9.1 million, of whom more than 3.6 million were African Americans. Most of these African Americans were enslaved. Number 8. New York was an important financial center for the South, with Southern banking being based in the North and not any Southern city such as New Orleans or Richmond. Number 9. The North had a much greater supply of natural resources such as iron and coal. These natural resources helped to power its industry and give it an industrial advantage over the future Confederacy. Number 10. 7 out of 8 immigrants who arrived in the United States before 1860 settled in cities such as New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Rochester and Chicago, all north of the Mason-Dixon line. The newly arrived immigrants provided workers for the northern industry and helped propel the North to greater industrialization over the South. Number 11. During the 19th century, the industries in the North grew much faster than those in the South. Number 12. In education, the North was more successful than the South. For example, in New England, 95% of the population could read and write, compared to an average of just 20% in the South. In fact, 3/4 of New England's children attended schools. In the South, it was about 1/3. Hence, the North had a better educated workforce. Number 13. During the 19th century, the North was becoming more industrialized than the South. By 1850, the proportion of farm workers in the North had fallen below 40%, while in the South it remained above 80%. Number 14. Northern cities were much larger than southern cities. Chicago, for example, saw its population rise from 5,000 in 1840 to 110,000 by 1860. With many in the North flocking to the cities to earn a wage. many looking to work in the factories and industries of the North. Number 15. In 1850, the population of New Orleans was put at 169,000. This only made it the sixth largest city in the United States. However, in the future Confederacy, it was by far the largest city. Number 16. If a line was drawn between St. Louis in Missouri, Louisville in Kentucky, and Baltimore in Maryland, every industrial center would have been in the North. Number 17. The greater industrial strength of the North brought it huge benefits, such as the laying of all-weather roads, the building of canal networks, and, very importantly, the construction of the railroads. Number 18. The economics of the North and South were linked. Raw materials from the South, such as cotton, were sent to northern factories to be turned into manufactured goods. These manufactured goods were then sold back to the South. The North also provided banking services to the South, with New York being an important banking center for the South. Number 19. By 1804, every northern state had outlawed slavery. So the economy of the North was not dependent on African American slave labor. Number 20. Due to the outlawing of slavery in the North by 1804, the free African American population in the North expanded, mostly in the urban areas, with many African Americans building their own schools and churches. Many African American slaves in the South risked their lives to escape their slaveholders and ran away to the North to taste freedom. However, it is worth noting, though the northern African American population was free, it still faced discrimination and racism in the North, in areas such as employment, health, education, and housing. So there you are, 20 facts of the North's economy pre-1860 you probably did not know. Please view my other video about 20 facts of the South's economy you probably did not know. The link to this video is provided in the description at the bottom. Both the videos will give a fuller picture of the United States economy pre-1860. I hope you found this video useful. Please comment, share, and subscribe. See you again soon, and thank you for watching.